I hate to start by focusing on the negatives, but yeah, we still feel like we've got some improvement in our game. That's clear, but not sort of sitting back thinking that there's myriad things we need to fix before September.
Was it the same hammy as earlier in the year for Jack?
Oh, you're really getting down into the detail that I can't. No, but I mean the takeaway is that they said he's okay. So no, if that was an important detail, they would have told me.
You took them straight in as soon as they got off the ground. Was that to maybe just give a bit of sharp feedback, just given how that third quarter went, or was it just standard?
I don't do that. Trying to work out what I'm going to tell you, Rog. No, we've just got a longer break. It's Friday night. We don't play until Sunday week, and we've made a little tweak to our program that we wanted to make sure they were informed about before we don't see them for a little bit. I wish I could come up with something more interesting. It was pretty boring.
Did you feel like you overpossessed the ball at times going into attack and weren't quite as efficient as you could have been?
Yeah, potentially overshared the ball a bit. There's been a bit of, I suspect there's been some commentary because I've been asked about the Jeremy thing a bit, but I didn't think that was an over emphasis on looking for Jeremy necessarily, but that's probably one of the main points that I was referring to with our execution. A couple of times we had players out inside 50 and just couldn't convert, and sometimes, look, it's rarely a problem when you've got players who are looking to sort of share the ball, but I don't mind telling her at halftime, did make the point, hey, if you're in a position to kick the goal, just kick it. It's a reasonable observation.
Defensively in the first half, you must have been pretty impressed with that. I think Roger was saying it was close to a record for intercept marks, I think, at one stage. It was a pretty good defensive effort.
Record for the first half.
Yeah, so I wasn't across that, but Tom Stewart is sort of in good form, really important player for us, and like he took some intercept marks, but a couple of times where we just broke down a little bit in terms of our system, and he was able to scrap and kill a couple of contests that he was clearly sort of out of position on, at least initially. But the one that kind of should excite Geelong supporters, I think, is Connor O'Sullivan. Like, he's just growing with each game he plays, and his confidence to jump at the ball. So that it's exciting for us to sit back and think maybe Connor O'Sullivan and Sam De Koning can play together for another 10 or 15 years. That'd be a pretty good combination based on what we're seeing at the moment.
ABC shouting at the start of the game really took the game by the scruff of the neck there.
Yeah, he's a real threat in a lot of areas, and I think I can't remember who it was, but it was put to me that maybe we're a bit surprised with how quickly he's come on. But watching him every day over a long period, I'm not sure what year he's into at our club, but it's been a while. Would it be 5? So, my line was, here's the overnight success that's taken 5 years. He's just worked so hard at his game. He walked into our club a brilliant athlete, and now he's a brilliant athlete who's stronger, who looks like he's going to mark the ball, and if he doesn't, he's up the ground, and he's valuable in the ruck. So, look, it doesn't surprise us at all the way he started the game, because if he gets a good run at the ball like that, he's going to be hard to stop. 203 centimetres, supreme athlete. Yeah, the signs are good with him.
The saying is that backlines win premierships. How pleased are you with the state of the system that you've got out down back 2 weeks to go before the finals, Chris?
Yeah, I think we're not overconfident. I look around, so Adelaide's attack, Brisbane, Collingwood at their best, Bulldogs. Like, it puts you back in your chair a little bit when you think about it. So, no, we've worked really hard at it. What we have had is some cohesion back there. And we'd like to think that there's a couple of experienced players who'll get some VFL minutes that will sort of come into our thinking a little bit over the next month or so. But the guys back there have been doing a good job. But I mean, my take has always been that, even before it was a fancy word, like team defence has always trumped like relying on your defenders. So yeah, it's an important part of the game for us. We've always focused on it. But having said that, I thought we gave up some pretty easy goals and we're under pressure in the third quarter. So, far from sort of thinking that we're perfect.
On Jeremy and his road to 100, is there a time in the game where you want to help him and get him to that milestone?
Yeah, but I think it's a bit nuanced. Like, I'd love to think that it would be brilliant if we could sit in the coach's box and just pull the puppet string. It's just, I think we play better when the ball goes through him. I'm repeating what I've said for a month now, I reckon. Like, there is a line there where it becomes counterproductive, but we work on it pretty hard, and we back our players' decision-making in those situations. But it's an interesting point, that lack of execution, especially going inside forward 50. I can't think of many where we thought that was a poor decision because we were looking for Jeremy. And it's funny, if those balls were going to him, maybe we'd be creating a problem that doesn't exist. I think it's more an overall thing. Has anyone spoken to him about the 100? Do you know how? I mean, I don't know how driven he is to get there. I'm not sure whether that's a focus of. I mean, he's just such a. He knows that it's an issue, doesn't he?
He was asked about it a few weeks ago, but he just put the attention on other people.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
No, it didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, could I just clarify, were you talking about Jack Martin before? The situation with Jack Martin and his late withdrawal?
No.
No. Could I?
I'm happy to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a little bit tight, sort of, in the last 24 hours or so. And in the end, there was just enough reasons there to say, let's take the more conservative route and get you right for next week. But I think it's reasonable to say it was an ultra-conservative call on a guy with a pretty lengthy injury history. He's been in great form. We're really excited for what he can do for us, and the risk-reward just didn't seem to add up with Jack. But there's no injury. Supremely confident that he'll hit the ground running on Monday.
What has Jeremy told you about the 100, Chris?
No, well, that's my point. Like, we haven't really talked about it. Like, I have talked in the past generally about probably two things. We're a better team when the ball goes through him. Like, we should look for him. And if we have individuals who are driven in part by individual success, I support that. It's never made any sense to me, this idea that, like, selfish is the most, it doesn't make sense in the context of the really good teams. Like, you want your best players getting the ball, and I just think the two things go together. If he's in a position where he's kicking a lot of goals, then it'd be unlikely we'd come in and say, gee, we played poorly tonight, even though Jez kicked 8. Yeah, well, he's been kicking so well. It felt like, in part tonight, we were just a little bit off with some of the execution, which happens. I think he's one of the best kicks for goal I've ever seen. So when he misses them, it really stands out.
Thank you.
Thanks.